Afternoon, folks. I'm so used to saying morning that we have a little bit of a different sort of view today. So I had the opportunity to take my students to the college library, my AP class. I do this every year, usually 2 times a year. First, I take them to the community college in the fall, and we have the opportunity to learn about databases, usually get to find out about the Library of Congress organizational system. The kids get to explore the library, do some work on the computers, get to do some work on the projects we're working on in class. And at the end of a year, I take them to a 4-year college library within the same system as well, and they have the opportunity to work on their research papers in the library for about 3 to 4 visits then. Something I noticed today that is really disconcerting is that great pedagogical divide between high school and college. And I tried to explain this to my students at some point, but I think that the actual experience was something that they saw for the first time today. The woman who was in charge of leading the library class was lovely. She was very nice, but didn't really read the room very well. Within the first 5 minutes of her standing in front of a classroom, talking at them, my students started to shut down. They were very polite. Nobody was like out on their phone or talking or doing anything disrespectful. But what really came to mind for me was very, very soon all these changes that we're making in primary and secondary education aren't trickling up to the colleges on a large enough scale. There are some pockets, I know that for sure, because I know there are college professors out there who do the great work that we do. They do project-based learning. They don't grade the students on their work. There isn't much additional homework in their traditional sense. Like, there is a lot of that going on, but there's still a very old mentality in a lot of spaces where in colleges the professors have to deliver content, just deliver it, and it doesn't seem to matter whether or not the kids are receiving it. And my concern as a high school teacher is preparing them for life to be innovative, thoughtful problem solvers who are very engaged in the learning in my space, but it's going to be the truth for some of them who end up being in situations where they aren't going to have that experience when they go to college. And I'm concerned that they'll be ill-prepared for that environment. So, I mean, if you're watching right now, what are your thoughts about these kinds of things? I am writing about it. It's already on my radar. I plan on getting it on the blog sometime this week because it really is something I'm concerned about now. And I'd love to hear your thoughts. I'd love to hear your questions. Just, are you a college professor? How do you handle classes? How long are those classes? How engaged are students expected to be? If you're a high school teacher of seniors in particular, how do you address that divide? How do you make sure your kids are both engaged and prepared for where they'll be next? And since many of them will be going to different kinds of schools, how do we prepare for all kinds of schools? Anyway, I was just thinking about these things. This is what's in my brain right now, and I just wanted to share it. So if you have thoughts or you have something to contribute to this conversation, I would certainly love to hear it. Hope everybody is having a great night.